Let's open up this Duskmourn House of Horror bundle. Thank you so much to Wizards of the Coast for sending me this bundle. We have Winter. I can see so many people in the community cosplaying this character. Oh, it's purple. And it has a moth. Does it glow in the dark? Okay, I don't think that it glows in the dark, but it should. Maybe if you put a black light on it. We have play boosties and lands. Let's check out these full art lands. All right. I love these full art lands. And we have our basics. Oh, I wanted this card for my Gen Commander deck. Enchanted player can't gain life. Whenever enchanted player is dealt damage, they lose half their life rounded up. Nice. I actually really needed that. All right, we have some foil full art lands here. I love those. And then we have some foil basics. All right. Play booster number 1. Innocuous Rat. I don't know if I'm saying that right. 2 mana 1/1. Whenever it dies, manifests dread. A warring watchdog. Enters or dies, surveil 1. Vanish from sight. Target non-land permanent owner puts it on top or bottom of their library, surveil 1. Living Phone. Whenever Living Phone dies, look at the top 5 of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest onto the bottom of the library in random order. Scorching Dragonfire deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die, exile it. Bear Trap. It's a 1 mana artifact with flash. You can sacrifice Bear Trap. It deals 3 damage to target creature. Trapped in the Screen. It's a 3 mana enchantment with ward 2. Whenever it enters, exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment an opponent controls until Trapped in the Screen leaves the battlefield. Drag 2, The Roots. The spell costs 2 less to cast as long as there are 4 or more card types in your graveyard. Destroy target non-land permanent. Savior of the Small. It's a 4 mana 3/4. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Savior is tapped, return target creature card with mana 3 or less from graveyard to your hand. Fear of Burning Alive. It's a 6 mana 4/4 enchantment creature. Whenever it enters, it deals 4 damage to each opponent. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, if there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, it deals that amount of damage to target creature that player controls. Attack in the Box. It's a 3 mana 2/4. Whenever it attacks, you may have it get +4/+0 until the end of turn. If you do, sack it. Leyline of the Void. The card would be put into opponent's graveyard. Exile it instead. Spectral Snatcher. Ward, discard a card. Swamp Cycling. Acrobatic Cheerleader. At the beginning of your second main, if it's tapped, put a flying counter on it. It triggers only once. All right, so this is the rooms. We have a ticket booth. Whenever you unlock this door, manifest dread. Tunnel of Hate. 4/6. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature gains double strike until the end of turn. Final Vengeance. It's a 1 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sack a creature or enchantment. Exile a target creature. Spine Seeker Centipede. It's a 3 mana 2/1. Whenever it enters, search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it to your hand. It gets +1/+2 and has vigilance as long as there are 4 or more card types in your graveyard. Erratic Apparition. It's a flying vigilance 1/3 for 3. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Malevolent Chandelier. It's a 6 mana artifact creature. 4/4. Flying. You can pay 2 to put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Activate this only as a sorcery. Grand Entryway. Whenever you unlock this door, create a 1/1 Glimmer enchantment creature token. For 3 mana later, you can unlock this door to put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Rootwise Survivor is a 5-mana 3/4 with haste. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, put 3/1/1 counters on up to one target land you control, and that land becomes a 0/0 elemental creature in addition to its other types. It gains haste. Cynical Loner, 2-mana 3/1, can't be blocked by glimmers. At the beginning of your second main, if Cynical Loner is tapped, you may search your library for a card and put it into your graveyard. Bottomless Pool and Locker Room. Whenever you unlock this door, return up to one target creature to its owner's hand. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This card is cool. I will definitely be looking for this in draft. It's a 3-mana 2/2 with flying and lifelink. It can't block. But whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, you can return this from graveyard to your hands. The Swarm Weaver is a 4-mana 2/3. Whenever it enters, you make 2/1/1 black and green insect creature tokens with flying. As long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, insects and spiders you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. Gremlin Tamer. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, you make a 1/1 red gremlin creature token. Kaito token. Ninjas you control get +1/+1. I really hope to pull that card because I have a ninja deck that I really want. I need Kaito. I need Kaito. Next pack we have Ripchain Razorkin. This is a 4-mana 5/3 with reach. You can sacrifice a land to draw a card. Fear of the Dark is a 5-mana 5/5. Whenever it attacks, if defending player controls no glimmer creatures, it gains menace and death touch until the end of turn. Bashful Beastie is a 5-mana 5/4. Whenever it dies, manifests dread. Tunnel Surveyor is a 3-mana 2/2. Whenever it enters, create a 1/1 white glimmer enchantment creature token. Emerge from Cocoon. It's a 5-mana sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain 3 life. Murder. We are probably all familiar with that, but destroy target creature. Bedhead Beastie is a 6-mana 5/6 with menace and mountain cycling. Piggy Bank, 2-mana 3/2. Artifact creature. Ooh. Whenever it dies, you make a treasure token. I like this. Oh, I will definitely be looking for that for draft. Ooh, this one too. Veteran Survivor. It's a 1-mana 2/1. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. As long as there are 3 or more cards exiled, it gets +3/+3 and has hexproof. Dang, I like that. Valgavoth's Faithful. It's a 1-mana 1/1. You can pay 4 later on to sacrifice it. Return target creature card from graveyard to the battlefield. Nico, Light of Hope. It's a 4-mana 3/4. Whenever it enters, create 2 shard tokens. Pay 2, tap, exile target non-legendary creature you control. Shards you control become copies of it until the beginning of the next end step. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Unstoppable Slasher. This is in the Paranormal Frame. 3 mana for a 2/3 Death Touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to player, they lose half their life rounded up. I really wanted this card. And whenever it dies, if it had no counters on it, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with 2 stun counters. But wow, what a threat. I love that. And a foil Piggy Bank. Next up. Hardened Escort. It is a 3 mana. Whenever it attacks another target creature you control gets +1 and gains indestructible. Vicious Clown, 3 mana 2/3. Whenever another creature you control with power 2 or less enters, this will get +2/+0 until the end of turn. Bilmerk Leech. It's a 2 mana 2/2 with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, each opponent loses a life. Slavering Branch Snapper. It's a 6 mana 7/6 with Trample and Forest Cycling. Tunnel Surveyor is a 3 mana 2/2. Whenever it enters, create a 1/1 white glimmer enchantment creature token. Fear of Surveillance is a 2 mana 2/2 Vigilance. Whenever it attacks, surveil 1. All right, we have a room, Glassworks and Shattered Yard. Whenever you unlock this room, it deals 4 damage to target creature an opponent controls. At the beginning of your end step, this room deals 1 damage to each opponent. Kalami Prowler is a 4 mana 2/5 enchantment creature. Whenever it attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. Fear of Exposure is a 3 mana 5/4 additional cost to cast a spell. Tap up to 2 untapped creatures or lands you control. That's a 5/4 with trample for 3. Norin Swift Survivalist, a 1 mana 2/1, can't block. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may exile it. You may play that card from exile this turn. Ooh, Ethereal Armor. It's a 1 mana enchant creature. Gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. That's really good. Twitching Doll. Add 1 mana of any color. Put a nest counter on it. And then you can later sacrifice it to make a 2/2 green spider for each counter that's on Twitching Doll. It's a 2/2 for 2. Stalked Researcher, 2 mana Defender, 3/3. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, it can attack as though it did not have Defender. A Beast Token! Alright, next up we have Turn Inside Out. Target creature gets +3. And whenever it dies, Manifest Dread. 1 mana instant. Frantic of the Harrowing. It's a 4 mana 2/2. Whenever it enters, each player discards a card. If you discard a card this way, draw a card. Grasping Longneck is a 3 mana 4/2 with reach, and whenever it dies, you gain 2 life. Don't Make a Sound, 2 mana instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If they do, Surveil 2. Jump Scare, 1 mana. Until the end of turn, target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying. It becomes a horror enchantment in addition to its other creature types. And it says, boo. Ragged Playmate. It's a 2 mana artifact creature toy that is a 2/2. You can pay 1. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Give into Violence. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until the end of turn. Greenhouse and Rickety Gazebo. Lands you control have add 1 mana of any color. And whenever you unlock this door, mill 4 cards and return up to 2 permanent cards from among them to your hand. Miasma Demon? I'm not saying that right. 6 mana 5/4 with flying. Whenever it enters, you may discard any number of cards. When you do, up to that many target creatures each get -2/-2 until the end of turn. Diversion Specialist is a 4 mana 4/3 with menace. You can pay 1 to sacrifice another creature or enchantment, exile the top card of your library, and play it this turn. Arabella, the Abandoned Doll, is a 2 mana 1/3. Whenever it attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. The Jolly Balloon Man is a 3 mana 1/4 with haste. You can pay 1 to tap it, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it's a 1/1 red balloon, in addition to its other colors and types, and has flying and haste. Cute. All right. Flesh Burrower. It's a 2 mana 2/2 Death Touch. Whenever it attacks, another target creature gains Death Touch until the end of turn. Demon Token. Turn Inside Out. Fear of the Dark. Bashful Beastie. Underwater Tunnel. So whenever you unlock this door, Surveil 2. Whenever you unlock this door, Manifest Dread and put that many 1/1 counters on that creature. Emerge from the Cocoon. If we've seen these before, I'm just skipping over. So this is a Cackling Slasher. It's a 4 mana 3/3 with Death Touch, and Slasher enters with a 1/1 counter on it if a creature died this turn. Clockwork Percussionist. I will definitely be looking out for this in draft. It's a 1 mana 1/1 with haste. Whenever it dies, exile the top card of your library. You can play it until the end of your next turn. Disturbing Mirth, 2 mana. Whenever it enters, you may sacrifice another enchantment or creature. If you do, draw 2 cards. When you sacrifice this, Manifest Dread. Haunted Screen. So this is a 3 mana mana fixer here. We can add pretty much any color. You just might have to pay life for the teamer colors, but you can also put 7 into it and put 7 1/1 counters on Haunted Screen. It becomes a 0/0 spirit creature in addition to its other types. You can activate that only once. Orphans of the Wheat. It's a 2 mana 2/1. Whenever it attacks, tap any number of untapped creatures you control. And orphans will get +1/+1 until the end of turn for each creature tapped this way. Dazzling Theater and Prop Room. Super excited for this card. Creature spells you cast have Convoke. Each creature you tap will add a colorless mana to help you cast those bigger spells. Prop Room side is also really, really cool. Untap each creature you control during each other player's untap step. I feel like this is going straight into my commander deck for sure. Leyline of Transformation. Whenever it enters, you choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. All right, we got Strangled Cemetery. An Unwilling Vessel. 3 mana, 3/2 with Vigilance with Eerie. Whenever it dies, you create an XX blue spirit token with flying, where X is the number of counters that are on the vessel. All right, next up we have Fear of Lost Teeth. It's a 1 mana 1/1. Whenever it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target and you gain 1 life. Cautious Survivor. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, you gain 2 life. Daggermaw Megalodon. It's a 6 mana 5/7 Vigilance with land cycling. Shepherding Spirits. 6 mana 4/5 flying with plane cycling. Grab the Prize is a 2 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you discard a card. Draw 2 cards. If the discarded wasn't a land card, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Trapped in the Screen is a 3 mana enchantment with Ward 2. Whenever it enters, exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment an opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. Bear Trap we went over. Beastie Beatdown. I don't know if we went over this one, but it's a 2 mana sorcery. And you choose a target creature you control and a target creature an opponent controls. If there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, you put 2/1/1 counters on that creature that you control, and the creature you control deals damage equal to its power to the creature the opponent controls. Razorkin Horde Caller. Whenever you attack, make a 1/1 red gremlin creature. This is a 4/4 with haste. Keys to the House is a 1 mana artifact. You can pay 1, sack the keys to search for a basic land, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Or you can pay 3 to sack the keys, lock or unlock a door of target room. Omnivore's Flytrap is a 3 mana 2/4. Whenever it enters or attacks, if there are 4 or more card types in your graveyard, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 2 target creatures. If there are 6 or more card types, double the amount of 1/1 counters on those creatures. Ooh, I haven't seen this. Restricted Office and Lecture Hall. Whenever you unlock this door, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. And then other permanents you control have hexproof. Murky Sewer, Encrypted Inspector, which is a 3 mana 2/3 elf with vigilance. Whenever a face down permanent you control enters, and whenever Inspector or another permanent you control is turned face up, put a 1/1 counter on Cryptid Inspector. Shard token. All right, we have Ripchain Razorkin, Fanatic of the Harrowing, Grasping Longneck, Don't Make a Sound, Shepherding Spirits, Ragged Playmates, Glimmer Burst. Draw 2 cards, create a 1/1 Glimmer enchantment creature token. Nowhere to Run. So this is a 2 mana enchantment with flash. Whenever it enters, target creature and opponent controls gets -3/-3 until the end of turn. Creatures your opponents control can be the targets of spells and abilities as though they didn't have hexproof. Ward abilities of those creatures don't trigger. Interesting. Skullnap Nuisance, 2 mana, 1/4 with flying. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, you surveil 1. Saw, which is a 2 mana equipment. Equipped a creature gets +2/+0. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice a permanent other than this creature or saw. If you do, draw a card. Optimistic Scavenger. Oh, I wanted this. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, I literally got all the cards. Between this and the collector box, I got like so many cards I needed. All right, so Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, 4 mana, has 4 loyalty. It has ninjutsu. During your turn, as long as Kaito has 1 or more loyalty counters on it, he's a 3/4 ninja and has hexproof. And then for +1, you get an emblem. Ninjas you control get +1/+1. You get an emblem. And that emblem you can get 2 or 3 of or 4 of, and I want it. For 0, you can surveil 2, then draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. And the -2 ability is tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it. Oh my god, I got it! I got it! Yes! And that was the second to last pack! This is the last pack. Okay. Enchant Creature Horror. It's a 3 mana, 3/2 with flash. Whenever it attacks, surveil 1. Manifest Dread literally is Manifest Dread for 2. Friendly Ghost. Impossible Inferno deals 6 damage to target creature. If there are 4 or more card types, you exile the top card of your library and play it until the end of next turn. Whenever you unlock this door, you draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +1 and gains Death Touch. Monstrous Emergence, 2 mana. Additional cost to cast this. Choose a creature you control and reveal a creature from your hand. Deals damage equal to the power of the creature you chose or the card revealed to target creature. Break down the door. 3 mana instant. Exile target artifact or enchantment or manifest dread. Sheltered by Ghosts. Enchant creature you control. Whenever it enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +1, has lifelink, and ward 2. Vile Mutilator, flying trample, and whenever it enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token enchantment, then sacrifices a non-token creature. Smoky Lounge and Misty Saloon. Salon? It's a salon. I don't know why I said saloon. It's a Misty Salon. At the beginning of your main phase, add 2 mana. Spend this mana only to cast room spells and unlock doors. Whenever you unlock this door, create a XX blue spirit creature token with flying, where X is the number of unlocked doors among rooms you control. Dazzling Theater and Prop Room. I love this. We went over this one, but it's a good card. Happy about that. And then Dashing Bloodsucker, 4 mana, 2/5. And so it has Eerie. It gets +2 and gains lifelink until the end of turn. I love that. Toy and Manifest. I'm happy. I got my Kaito. I was really hoping for that. Like, that's the one I was like, I really need this right now. I want to put it in my ninja deck. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.